All right, let's cook up. Feeling like I want to jump into sampling here. I just, sometimes you're feeling lucky. %, yes. Yeah, just this first part, I think. Dang, that's nice. That is nice. Yeah, I just like to start with like a really basic groove just to get some samples going. See how I kind of simplified the groove? Because I don't want the kicks and the snares to influence what I'm doing too much. Sometimes if the drum loop is a little too intricate, then I move around all the chops to try to match the drum beat instead of what's best for the sampling. I think the samples are cool, but we need to change keys because it's not quite hitting right. We need to change something. What if we went really low? Was that dumb? What if we high passed it so it's not so? Feeling like a slow beat is maybe the way to go. Okay, I think that's it. Now I think it's too slow. So we need to go back up and then I'm going to change keys. I like to duplicate this sampler track I have and just get a different vibe going, see which one's better. Is that the way to go? We just pitch it up an octave and just go for it? Like... That's kind of dope. So you can hear that the samples stop right before each beat, which means we may need to make it a little bit faster, or we need to pitch it down a little bit. I kind of like the timing it's at, so I'm actually going to elect to pitch it down. Oh, it almost works. Okay, I just took off the low pass filter and listen to how dope the strings sound now that I took it off. Okay, how do we fix this? Let's go down. Another option we have is to go, I'm going to get rid of these last four and I'm going to stretch all this out because we can actually just lengthen each one of the samples by getting rid of each one of these ones in the middle, and then maybe it will flow a little bit better. Okay, I really like the way that it repeats, so I'm going to call this one 1, and then we'll call this one 2. And we'll change colors to make it easier to see, right? Okay, so we finally got it locked in, but it was only because I changed the pitch to +10 and I changed the tempo to 87 instead of like whatever configuration I had before. Check this out. The previous sample was an octave below what I'm working with now. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to layer the chords from the initial octave, so the -2, underneath this and see if we can come up with something cool. Because I think it might be a nice way to round it out. Like, yeah. I think I like that. Listen to what these sound like together, soloed. And what I'm also gonna do is I'm gonna compress it really hard. Let me use the glue compressor. I just like how it sounds. It'll serve kind of like a pad, I think, behind everything else. And I'm actually gonna high pass it too because I want the space to be occupied by the bass that I put in. if we put some chorus on it too? All right, now let's work on the drums a little bit. We did the tough part. We got the vibe together and we got some chops down and it's feeling good. That's the most important thing. Let's get rid of all of that. I'm feeling like a nice cracking like rim shot / snare combo. I don't know why I started doing this, but I always just start on the kick and then I'll just like cut and paste this snare somewhere else. Cause usually it's because I have like one track armed at the same time. So I usually just use like the octave up part of the kick to move on to the snare, if that makes sense. Also, I personally think that this relationship between your kicks here, where you're shuffling them, where you're going, when you play it in by hand, that little space between the kicks is precious. It sounds stupid, but like I keep that relationship there because it sounds the most human rather than like dragging it onto, you know, this here and it just... So I'll always just drag the hit that needs to be on beat, but I'll leave the one before it wherever I played it. You can hear like some of them are off and that's okay. You know, it's kind of like more of an old school feel to it. So it's like I'm playing it in on a drum machine. Okay, so here's what I do. First of all, I press Command J on the clip so that when I select this entire thing of the octave up kicks and I hold shift and drag this little space over, I just press Command X and then I go to my snares and then I press Command Shift M, go to the beginning, and then you can see this is where my snare are, and then I just press Shift down and then we've got our snare, right? Also, I like to usually lower my snare by like 18 decibels because it's just so loud. Like this snare, it's kind of an old school feel, which is what I'm going for, but I want to make it a little tighter, so I'm going to just put it on one shot mode and then take snap off and then now it's nice that I have these other snares layered on there because I want to have something a little bit crunchier on top. Yeah, it's always good to have a rim shot in there too for a snare like this because it adds more just snap to it. If you ever feel like your snare is just kind of like feeling lazy and sort of it's just not hitting right, just try adding a rim shot at the top and like blending it in there to taste it. It really helps. Next up is going to be the snare, or the hat. I had 3 options and I had to say one of the ones that I've already done. Ooh, I'm kind of feeling like that bright, high, sort of like modern style hat. I think that was it. Now what I like to do at this point is turn the monitor all the way down and check to see if my hi-hat is like 800 times as loud as it needs to be. Which it is.
Might want to get a little side chaining in here on the sample. Let's see. Something that I like to do is play around with making the hat later. You can also play around with pulling the snare a little early too. Depending on how vibey you want it to be, you know? I want to do like a deep subby hip hop bass, but I also am feeling like a real bass. Let's try a deep hip hop bass first. I like that simple bass sound. Maybe like we just do like a quick intro. You know, throw a little filter on there. That's a vibe. That's a vibe. Can we add in this other hat too, real quick? I think I locked the in on that. That is dope because it almost sounds like it's part of the snare. Let's copy this and then I'm gonna just let that last part ring out without any drums. Or maybe we could do like a do-kit. And then we make another section where it's filtered. And there you go. Put together a nice little beat.